Hey traders, it's Heather. Happy Thursday. I hope you had a great trading day. If you were a bull, you probably did, especially if you were bullish the NASDAQ, because NASDAQ closed a whopping 1.6% higher on the day. Really encouraging to see this move, and I'm not going to pretend that, the NASDAQ looks clean or that it's out of the woods or that it's clean sailing higher. Not by any stretch. It's still got a lot of work to do because look, it's just been in so much chop, as has the S&Ps, but NDX looks a little bit worse than SPX does. I'll tell you what though, this is why I'm encouraged, okay? So I was getting worried about the NASDAQ yesterday because not only did it have 2 days with a close below the daily 21, also closed below the fire line 2 days in a row. Kind of got close to touching it yesterday, couldn't even tag it. That had me a little bit concerned. However, today, not only did it gap up well above that fire line, but it also continued higher on the day. So that's a really good start to perhaps doing something a little bit more meaningful, right? Maybe we start to get some new highs, not like all-time highs, but start to get out of this junk. Maybe the moving averages start to correct, and instead of those moving averages being choppy, which they are right now, maybe this little helicopter turns into a bull and we get some positively stacked moving averages on the daily chart. We'll see. Still got a lot of work to do, but today is encouraging for me, okay? Let's take a look at SPX, because while it has been in chop, it's not nearly as ugly as NASDAQ has been. So nice day, up 0.8%. I want to point a couple of things out to you. Okay, so yesterday, let's take a look at yesterday. Had a drop down, actually tested and dipped below this risk pivot right here that's at 74.40. The risk pivot is a level put on by Spot Gamma, and it's basically their bullish above, bearish below level. So it got tested yesterday, and the bulls said, oh no you didn't. And they scooped SPX right back up. Look at that wick. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so tiny little gap up this morning and it just kept going. Here's the problem right now. It's having a tough time getting above 75.50. Today it touched 75.46, almost 75.47, so it got pretty close. But a lot of resistance at 75.50. So I think that's really going to be the next level, that if we can get above it, that would be really good for bulls. Okay, call wall is at 7,600. I'm actually targeting 7,600 for tomorrow. We've got some call debit spreads on in the small lot trading room. I'm not sure that it will make it there tomorrow. However, I do think that we could see some more upside action tomorrow. And listen, if you time it right, if your entry is correct, you don't always have to get in the money on debit spreads to see a profit. As long as price continues higher tomorrow, and it does it early enough in the day, we can still see a profit out of those. So I'm not worried about the trade. However, I'm not certain. I'm never certain, but I'm not so sure we'll actually tag that call wall tomorrow at 7,600. All right, so why am I bullish tomorrow? A couple of reasons, but a big one is the Stock Traders Almanac. I talk about that one a lot. It's right a lot. It's right way more than it isn't. And historically, is this week? Yes, it is. Okay, sorry. Historically, July 9th is a bullish day. That came out. That was correct. July 10th, also historically a bullish day. Now, I'll tell you this. I don't want to jinx myself, especially since I have a call debit spread on for tomorrow. But in the last couple of months, it's only been off like one day. Okay, it's right more than it's not by a long shot. I will also point out, though, that it can be a bullish day tomorrow and also only close one penny higher. Okay, so just because the Stock Traders Almanac says that it's a historically bullish day, doesn't mean that we're going to rally 50 points or 60 points. It might only be a tiny little bit. Okay, but want to point that out. I also want to tell you how we do use the Stock Traders Almanac in the small lot trading room, just in case it's something that you would like to do. And I'll talk about next week. Okay, since this week is over with, I kind of want to give you a potential setup. Okay, so next week, the 13th, the 14th, and the 17th are historically bullish days. The 15th and the 16th, it's a toss-up. It could go either way. There's nothing significant within the data to go one way or another. So the way that we trade off of the Almanac in the small lot trading room is when the Almanac is right on track, as it has been, we'll take one of those days where it's not showing anything. So let's say, just hypothetically, Monday is bullish. Let's say we go higher on Monday, and then Tuesday and Wednesday, markets go lower. I would use that little pullback to get long into Friday, which is historically bullish. And that's exactly what we did this week. So yesterday, the 8th, and the day before, the 7th, those were two of those days where it was just kind of a coin toss, no significant data going back decades and decades and decades. So we were talking about it, for a few days ahead of time. We were anticipating a pullback. We did get that pullback, and we used those days to get long for Friday. So hopefully that all plays out, but just kind of want to let you know how we use that. And it's just one piece of the puzzle. We're looking at all sorts of different things. Remember, the Stock Traders Almanac isn't a crystal ball, and just because a day is bullish, it doesn't have to be, 50 points higher. It can be 1 point higher or 1 penny higher. Okay, so we're looking at all sorts of things, but Stock Traders Almanac is a big piece of my puzzle, and it's a tool that I use a lot. So hopefully you can gain some benefit out of it as well. All right, so I want to show you some other things that I'm looking at. So we've got some other resistance. I named 75.50. If we look at this little sell zone, a la Trendy John and Mel, this is a little daily sell zone that I drew up on SPX, and look, price is just barely poking into it. So that's another reason that I think, look, I'm bullish the markets right now. I don't think we're going to go straight up. We went straight up in April and in May, and the market's going to have to digest that move, and it's going to need to spend some time digesting that move. So we can still go higher, but I think it's going to be a grindy, choppy move higher before we actually see some new highs. When we do see some new highs, which currently the all-time high in SPX is at 76.20. Well, I do have some fib extension levels above that I want to tell you about, just so that you can help prepare yourself. And like I said, I don't think it's going to happen next week. Might not even happen next month, but just so that you're prepared and you can mark them on your chart if you want to, I've got a 1618 fib extension at 76.30, practically tagged that with the all-time high at 76.20, but I'm just leaving that on there anyways. That's from a previous move back here that you can't see right now. Once that gets tagged, I will take that fib level off of my chart, and then I have three other ones above. I have 77.11, I have 77.67, and then I have 78.57. Here's the one that I'm really paying attention to, 77.67, because it is directly on top of this tree line, which is at 77.68. They are just paired up. They are smushed together. So that is my current ultimate target, 77.67. We could say 65 or 70. When does it hit that? I don't know. It's 130 points away, we'll call it. So I don't think it's going to hit this month, July. I'd be happy to be wrong, but I don't think that's going to happen. Could it hit in August? Perhaps. If we can find our way out of this chop, I don't think that's unreasonable, but we'll just have to see. What could change the environment? Well, for one thing, we've got earnings coming up. Next week, we're kicking off earnings. Always starts out with financials. So let's take a look at XLF. XLF has been looking great. A lot of banks within XLF also look great. I mean, nice bullish uptrend. You can see that right here with this little bull. Tells me that the moving averages are stacked positively. Even when it pulls back, it's really only pulling back to +1 ATR. It has no interest in reverting all the way down to the daily 21. That's very bullish. Let's take a look at a couple of banks inside. Citigroup looks great. This one is testing the daily 21, but looks fantastic. JP Morgan. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Nice uptrend. Morgan Stanley. I love it when it takes a little dip like this, like minus 1 ATR, and then just comes right back on up. I love that. I love that. Shows me that, you know, it's got some it's got some conviction, you know, like it tried to go down, but bulls just said no thank you. All right. Wells Fargo, phenomenal. Bank of America, phenomenal. Okay, so anyways, bottom line, banks look good. Financial earnings, bank earnings get kicked off next week. And then directly after that, we're going to start getting all of those tech earnings. So could that swing us back into a less choppy environment and a more bullish environment? Possibly. I don't really have an opinion on that. I'm not really expecting anything out of that. But look, it's a catalyst, right? So it's probably going to take us out of chop one way or another. My hope is to the upside because I like playing bullish trades more than I like trading bearish trades. I know some of you would disagree with that. That's okay. That's what makes it fun, right? We can all have different ways to trade. All right, so what do I actually think looks tradable right now? Coke is one that we trade a lot in the small lot trading room. It's good to us. You know, we play it on all different time horizons. We'll play it, you know, a week and a half out, or we'll trade it a month out, just depending on what we're seeing. But I think it looks great right now. It's in a 2-day squeeze. Came back and tested the daily 21 and bounced. I think if we can get some intraday squeezes, I would love to play it to the upside again, see if it can take out this high at 85.68, then maybe even tag this snow line right up here at 87. So I'm not ready for it yet, but it looks good and I'm watching it. All right, here is another one that I think looks good, Philip Morris. Now, I had a pretty decent pullback today, so I definitely want to wait and see, can it hold the daily 21 and this snow line right here? But look, it's got a beautiful daily squeeze, also has a 2-day ideal squeeze. So I think that looks great. I would be targeting, well, I'd have a couple of targets because look, you've got this tree line right up here at about 190. Okay, it got rejected there last time it made an attempt to break through. But if this squeeze can fire long, I think it could absolutely bust through that. Maybe it hits that snow line at 198. And you know, 198 gets you 200, right? Just give yourself plenty of time if that's your target on it. I want to give an honorable mention to, let's see if I can remember, what is it? I think it's ESTC. Yes, ESTC. So this is one that was brought to us in the small lot trading room by one of our members, High Vibrations. Here's the thing. So I really like the chart. I really like the daily chart. I ended up not taking it, but you might want to, and she did. If you decided to take it, I wouldn't hold it against you because I think it's a beautiful daily chart, okay? Nice rounded bottom. Ideal squeeze on the daily chart. I'll tell you, there was just one thing that I didn't love about it, and it's that if we look at the weekly chart over here, it's bumping up against the weekly 34. Okay, so it could get rejected here, although it's ever so slightly above. Here's the thing, if we can get a close above this weekly 34, which is at 61.90 right now, if we can get a close tomorrow above that level, I think it has a clear path up to its weekly 50, which, by the way, is also at these highs at 68.72. And look, if anything can get price to bust through resistance, it's a daily squeeze. So I definitely think it's worth trading. I can't remember. I think we were looking at August. We were looking at the August calls. So let me bring that up for you as well. Oh yeah, this is what we were doing. Okay, because we're in the small lots trading room. Okay, so we got to keep our risk low. We were looking at a 65.70 call debit spread for August. Okay. It was trading lower. I think this is like a funky after hours mark. So I wouldn't pick up a 5 wide for $2. I'd want it closer to like $1.50. And that is what it was showing us towards the end of the day. But look, if you have a larger account and you don't need to keep your risk that small, then, you know, by all means, you could get the 60 or even the 55 calls for August, and I think it looks great. I think it's a great looking daily chart. Man, now that I'm looking at it, I am kind of kicking myself for not taking it. Maybe I'll grab it tomorrow. We'll see. All right, that is what I have for you today, traders. Thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you in the rooms.
Without simpler trading, I could not have financial independence.
This is one of the best investments I ever made in my life.
It's helping me find consistency.
It's one of the things that won me